This recap will be very brief. The main takeaway from this month's regularly scheduled board meeting is USI continues to hemorrhage money from the district. Don't take our word for it. Here's Dr. Holloway stating so in her presentation to the board.
A significant investment has been made to implement this pathway. These are the total expenditures and revenues broken down by school year.
Her numbers total $2,918,796. That's for a current enrollment of 97 students. And even though 30% of these students, why can't they just say the exact number, come from out of the district, those students do not generate revenue for PYL-USD. Here's Trustee Anderson explaining the costs associated with the cost per student at USI back in September 2024.
Cost of a USI per athlete based on 150 athletes is $8,233.33. The cost of educating a student at Parkview based on an enrollment of 183 students is $10,163 students. The total cost for Parkview students who are participating in USI is $18,396.33. These numbers have to be added together because USI is a program at Parkview. They are Parkview students who are participating in the USI program. USI does not collect ADA, only the school, Parkview, generates ADA per student. Based on Dr. Chernus's email, the revenue per student enrolled in Parkview is $12,366. For every $12,366, the district collects from ADA $1,937.63 is set aside to fund district administrative costs and special education. In reality, the max each school receives per student is approximately $10,428.27. There are variances on the amount the district receives per student based on their grade level. Cost over ADA for a Parkview student participating in USI exceeds the ADA received by $7,968.06.
Even if USI draws students from outside the district, it will continue to drain funds because the cost for educating those students through Parkview and USI costs far more than it takes in. USI, as currently constituted, is not sustainable without siphoning money from other sources. In addition, these finances shared at the meeting may not be entirely accurate because they're not taking into account recurring expenses to training lab as well as other expenses, which was brought up by Trustee Buck.
Additional information and the expenses from this year. I went through the expenses from USI in general last year and this year, and there's no expense for the signage. So if the signage is missing off of that list, I couldn't find it. So maybe if you could identify where that is in that little add-on, because it seemed like that was missing. So if there's other things missing, do we have a full comprehensive understanding of what this really cost? Additionally, when you go back to the training lab contract, there was an $80,000 fee that we paid for licensing. And it was a half cost, half price for the first year, and then there was the app, the software for $250,000 for 200 students. That's ongoing. That's not included in any of the ongoing costs.
Finally, along with these numbers, there's also an issue with finances at USI. All middle and high school sports expenditures are listed under Dr. Holloway, rather than the site incurring the expense. By doing this, it makes it easier to hide USI's expenses because they're being combined with all sports-related expenses.
What is it?
So Dr. Holloway oversees all high school and middle school athletics in addition to USI. So anything under that site code is referring to Dr. Holloway. So it is not for USI, it is for our high school programs.
So how do you delineate if it's USI or high school?
We just have it all under Dr. Holloway. It's the same way that each of our directors has different codes and they oversee multiple programs, and the object codes tell you what type of cost it is for, but the location code tells you which director it's under.
That pretty much sums up the last regular board meeting. The next board meeting is scheduled on March 11th.